Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Let's start by taking a few moments and just connecting with the higher frequency energies, and then we'll chat for a few minutes about what we're going to be focusing on today. A little bit of contemplation and a little bit of meditation. So, blessings to you. Sit with your feet flat on the floor, your spine erect, and feel your connection to the space you're in. And take a deep breath in, and let's connect with the God of our understanding. By whatever name you use, however you relate to Source. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Let's connect with our higher sacred self, recognizing that we're more than simply physical bodies. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Let's connect with the divine presence that's animating everything in existence, including us. Deep breath in, exhale. Let's connect with our ancestors. Deep breath in, exhale, and let's connect with the great compassionate light. This is the light that we will meet at the end of our journey here on earth. A deep breath in and exhale. Now let's connect with everyone on this Instagram and those who will be viewing this later. And feeling our connection with all that is. You may open your eyes. I'm looking at the chat. Thank you, Gangster Mechanics, for joining today. And let's see your question. Okay, so what I want to really focus on today are fundamental childhood decisions, the decisions that we make between our conception and our 6 years of age. And I just want to say, in response to your question, that you're not a bad person, period. So whatever actions you take, some of them support you to be in a higher state of consciousness, and others actually work against that. And those are the kinds of things that you look at. Like, is this really supporting me to be my best self and being able to function at optimal um, capacity, or is it really hurting my ability to do so? And that's one way to look at how to make decisions around actions that you take. There's no judgment here, and one of the things that I want to invite you to do is to not be in judgment of yourself. And if you have a problem, for instance, with addiction, there are many resources that are available to help you with that. And what I will say for now is that the more you get in touch with your true authentic self, your inner capacity, you will have more ability to function at a higher frequency. Thanks for joining Black Diamond. So we're doing a contemplation, and then we'll do a little bit of meditation. I want to share some information that I think is very important and can be very helpful. When we are conceived, everything that's happening in our mother's emotional field is coming into our being. And if our mother, for instance, is in a stressful situation, if the pregnancy wasn't planned and is not desired at this time, those things come into our consciousness when we're in utero. When we're in utero, we're like yogis, simply absorbing everything around us and making decisions about how the world is based on what's coming into our awareness. And there's no judgment about what's happening with your mother either. I mean, there are circumstances that affect all of us. For instance, what was her relationship like with your birth father? What was the relationship with her parents? What was her childhood like? But just know that we're not these discrete beings that are separate from everything else that has happened, that we have imbibed these experiences into our consciousness. And in many instances, they begin to shape how we show up in the world and how we function in the world. The really critical periods are the moment of conception, the first 6 hours after birth. I mean, how was that delivery? Was it easy? Was it by cesarean? Was it traumatic? And what about the people in the room when your mom was giving birth? Were they supportive? Were they in good states of consciousness? So all these things come into us and begin to form our perceptions about what the world is like. Even more critical after the first 6 hours following birth are the first 6 years of life. And these are the things that you actually may have more recall about. For instance, were you bullied in school? Did you have a fall? Did you disappoint yourself? I remember, for instance, when I was in kindergarten and we were tasked with learning the ABCs, that the night before I had all of them. I could say the entire alphabet. But that morning, when it was my turn, I couldn't get past M for some reason. And it really, really hurt me that I couldn't get past M, that I couldn't remember. And I remember getting a graham cracker cookie they used to serve in those days. By the way, this is very old school. And it was nap time afterwards, and just kind of crying myself to sleep because I felt like I had failed. These kinds of actions, these kinds of incidents, these kinds of experiences often find their way into our subconscious, and they set up a pattern that shows up later in life. And so if you think about what happened to you, like when you first entered school or even before that, and what were your parents like in relationship to you? Did you feel supported? Did you feel encouraged? Did you feel celebrated? Was one of your parents missing? Did you know your father? All of these kinds of things go into our consciousness and form our perception about what the world is like. And the opportunity that is available to us as adults is to begin to unpack that stuff and to begin to really examine what we're holding in terms of beliefs and what is affecting us in terms of what we're able to manifest in our lives today. So, fundamental childhood decisions occur between the ages of 0 and 6, or 1 and 6, and it's really worthwhile to begin an exploration of the experiences that occurred at those ages to see if they have in fact created obstacles in your consciousness that cause you to self-sabotage, cause you to make decisions that are not in your highest good, cause you to quote unquote fail. And actually there's no such thing as failure. We're in Earth School. We're here to learn. We're here to experience. And so all of the experiences that we have, even though they may not always feel good and they may not be clear to us, they're part of our learning. And what we do with them, how we grow from them, all of that affects the journey going forward. That was a mouthful. So take a deep breath. Exhale. And then in response to your question about smoking marijuana, for instance, again, there's no judgment about that. The question that I would invite you to explore is, how is it affecting my day? Am I high in energy? Am I clear in my thinking? Am I actually able to function well? And if your answer to any of those questions is no, then I would encourage you to maybe make a little commitment to yourself to consider another way of relating to that activity. So, you might start with deciding that, okay, let's see if we can get through today without imbibing, for instance. And then go one step at a time and see if you feel better and if you feel like you're functioning better. If these steps that you're trying to take on your own are not helpful, or you find yourself not able to get free, then I would say, there are many support groups like NA and AA, and that can help you be in a place of working towards your liberation. I would also say that one of the things that we're able to do here is to really tap into powerful healing energies, high frequency energies. And so I would invite you to take, for instance, an intention for yourself that you want to make a change in this area, that you want to give that up. And if you hold that as an intention, I will join you in that intention and bring an energetic flow to support you in the realization of that. So Again, no judgment. Every body is different. Every psyche is different. We're all different, and we all interact with the environment in different ways and with substances in different ways. So, okay, thank you to everyone who's tuned in. We have been chatting a little bit about fundamental childhood decisions and how they shape our perception of the world and how they either support us moving forward or they hinder us. And so if you've just tuned in, one of the things I've invited the group to consider is looking at the period between the ages of 1 and 6 years old, and to see if there are any experiences that you had that really caused you to have a particular viewpoint, and particularly if it's a limiting viewpoint about your capacity, your ability, and how the world functions for you. So if you have these thoughts like, no matter what I do, there are always obstacles, that's something to really look at. If you have this feeling that no matter how hard I work, I'm never rewarded, you can look to see if there's something in the past that set that pattern up for you in your thinking, and that's being manifested in your outer world. What we know for sure is the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. And so we spend our time really focusing on the inner world to get that right, because when that's right, what is being created in your outer world also follows that vibration. Okay, so now let's take a deep breath in and exhale. I'm sitting in a very cold place today, so I'm gonna put my sweater on. Okay, yeah. So just exhale. Sit with your feet flat on the floor if you're in a chair. And today I want to invite you to bring your index finger down to the base of your thumb. So bring your index finger down to the base of your thumb. And so when we hold our hands in these certain mudras, they actually direct energy in our body. And since we're going to be contemplating this, our fundamental childhood decisions, I want to bring the energy up to here so that you can actually tap into those places and tap into those memories. So we've already invoked the higher frequency energies. And so let's take a few deep breaths right now. Just breathe in slowly and exhale slowly. We've invoked the presence of the great compassionate light, and we invite the light that we will meet at the end of our journey here on earth to really come right inside into our crown chakra and anchor itself in our heart center, the center of our chest. Deep breath in and exhale. Breathe normally. Exhale. Now allow your attention to flow. Allow it to move back to your early years. Do you have a memory that's really a fond memory? Something that makes you smile whenever you think about it? Something that happened before you were 7 years old, ages 1 through 6. It could be something as simple as being in your mother's arms, getting a gold star on a page in school, being called upon to do something and doing it very well, feeling proud of yourself. It could be something like being in your grandmother's house and feeling that love from her. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Allow yourself to feel the joy that you felt when you had this experience. That's the good experience in your memory. The excitement, the happiness. It might have been going someplace fun, being with friends, learning to ride a bike, building a go-kart. Learning a new dance, singing a song at church. Allow any memory that really brings you joy to float up to the surface. And allow yourself to feel that joy. Take a deep breath in and exhale. We're inviting the great compassionate light to shine a light on our consciousness to help us see what we want to see, what we need to see. Now take a deep breath in and exhale. And now we're going to shift. Do you have a memory of something that happened that caused you to feel hurt? Maybe you fell down riding that bike. Maybe you were bullied in school. Maybe you were trying to talk to your parent and he or she wasn't listening. Maybe you were punished for something that you didn't do. If you have any experience that comes to mind between the ages of 1 and 6, just allow yourself to be with that experience for a moment. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Allow yourself to feel the feelings that you felt then. One of the teachings is that anything that we experience completely turns to bliss. That often when we have hurts or disappointments, we push them down and they get buried in our subconscious. And they live there waiting and informing our perceptions and our experiences in the world. So we want to excavate those. We want to bring them to the light and experience them. So if you felt hurt in any way, allow yourself to feel that hurt. If you felt rejected in any way, if you felt somehow unappreciated or wrongly charged with something that was not your responsibility, or punished for something that you didn't do, allow yourself to feel the feelings that have been buried. And as these feelings come through, we're going to bring the great compassionate light in to envelop you, to hold you, to nurture you through this feeling. Don't resist it. Allow it to be present. And from today's eyes, the eyes of the adult, hold your little child self. And let your child know that he or she is fine, he or she is good. That experience is not the totality of your being. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Now see that experience simply floating away. Being released from your subconscious mind, being released from your energy field. Being transformed by the great compassionate light. What we know for sure is that there are many such experiences, and today we're simply focusing on one. or two. We can let them go now. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Give your little inner child a big hug. You may release the mudra. And let your inner child know that he or she is free from that limiting belief, that limiting experience. Relax your hands. Take a deep breath in and bring your hands together in the Namaskar Mudra. Exhale. Right at the center of your chest. As we give thanks to the God of our understanding, to our higher sacred self, to the divine presence, to our ancestors, to our teachers and guides, and to the great compassionate light. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace within, peace outside, peace all around us. Ashe. Whenever you're ready, you may open your eyes. And I hope this was helpful to you. We will be here again on Tuesday. And we're going to just dive deep a little bit in these contemplations and meditations, so we begin to really empty and clear the space inside so that we can be conscious in what we're creating, and that it can be something that serves our higher good and benefits all those around us. Blessings to you all.